this morning, and thank you for joining us. Today we have Angela Quinn with Siklu presenting the webinar. If you have any questions, please input them in the question box, and Angela will answer them at the conclusion of the webinar. At this time, I'm going to let Angela take over, and I hope everybody enjoys.
All right, thank you so much for joining today. Appreciate your time and interest into Siklu and working with Microcom as one of our value partners for you to be able to do your purchasing and technical needs around questions and issues that you may have with Siklu. I'll go ahead and start in here. Let's see here. Oops, sorry. Okay, I wanted to make sure that we start out with sharing with you all that in the millimeter wave space and the E-band radios of the 70 and the 80 gigahertz over the last 2 years, we have ranked #1 in millimeter wave radios shipping out there worldwide. So we are definitely the domination for world demand in the millimeter wave space radios, due in part because of the new technology that we have in the radios with a silicone chipset that's unique to our product, as well as the size and feature sets that you're getting for the price and performance. It's actually now in the last year we had over 5,000 links that we've already sold, and we're closely going to probably be doubling that here in this year for 2014 as well. So our growth has been exponential quarter over quarter by about doubling our business in volume and shipment and sales. You'll see as we go through this presentation where we're coming out now with the new V-band, which is the 60 gigahertz, which will probably be doubling our business even more so in this next year to come. By 2015, we should have even double the size and shipments for the products out there in the field. So with that said, we'll kind of go in here. Where we're seeing a lot of the demands for this product is with our existing service providers, where they're basically becoming their own small cell environment from not your traditional carrier small cell, but a small cell in the essence of the service providers bringing down more and more secular locations within their rural communities. So, you know, anything short of 2 miles, they're basically putting multiple building-to-building shots. And where in the past, where you had a lot of 5824 rings and star topology out there from tower to tower, now it's coming down to more of a building-to-building environment with a gigabit backbone. So you can see here, it's a little reiteration here on the network processor that we have, being a silicon chipset. We use a single chip receiver, and it's an all in-house design radio components. We are an Israeli-based company, and we have an excellent mean time to failure rate as well, which is 70 years, which is double, almost double what anybody else has out there in the industry. It's an extremely scalable and affordable gig system, and we'll kind of go through that a little bit more. So you can see the footprint on this picture up above. It is the smallest footprint form factor that's out there. Looks like there's a little delay on the slides here, guys. Sorry, bear with me. I'm not sure if, Crystal, if you can advance to number 4. It's not,
Yeah.
It's not going for us here.
Let's see.
Okay.
So, let me know if it works now.
Yeah. Nope, still not advancing for some reason.
Let's see. I'm gonna, okay. Try it again.
No. Go ahead and just hit the next slide there if you want.
Okay.
All right. So here you see the spectrums that we're dealing with. We've got the 70, the 80 gigahertz, and then we've got the 60, which is an unlicensed. A couple of things that I'll point out too is our licensing is with Siklu. We've actually done a master licensing nationwide. So for our clients that are wanting to use our 70, 80 gigahertz licensed band, you're looking at about a $75 for 10 years licensing fee. That's running you $7.50 a year. That's substantially less than you're going to see out there with other providers. We also have 9 non-overlapping channels. We also have also in the short haul, as you can see down there below, we're ranging about 1.5 to 2 miles in distance. Now in the 60 gigahertz, that's going to be probably about 1/4 of a mile distance, just so you make sure. And that's obviously pushing out towards the 1.52 mile. You're really going to need to look at, and we have a path tool that you can utilize in both the E band and the V band, which will give you a really good diagnostic as what you would be looking at as far as distance and throughput. But with anything that you're going outside, you know, that 1.5 mile plus, you're probably going to be considering yourself using the 2-foot dish. Okay.
Angela, if you want to just let me know when you're ready, I can switch them.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, it looks like you got it.
All right, so here's some highlights that we're going to go through. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. We're rolling through here quite aggressively.
Read
Want to
back,
make sure
guys.
you're paying attention there out there as you're watching this. We're going to flip it around pretty good for you. But anyway, we're going to go through the 1200 system. There's basically we've got 3 radios. We're going to go through there's an F version, a T version, and the 600T version. So we'll go through those for you guys. So it's very, very simplistic. It's all outdoor point-to-point microwave system. It's operating again in the 70 and 80 with the capacity from a 350 megabits all the way up to 1 gig full duplex. The TD is obviously going to be for the time division. The FDD is going to be for your frequency division, which will give you a full duplex capacity. In the TD version, you can see that you can do a split in regards to your frequency spectrum throughput on your megabit. So you can go a 50-50, 75-25, or a 90-10. So depending on the type of application you have out there, for instance, on the 90-10, you may have an aggregation of 30, 40, 50 cameras in a down-down corridor, and you want to backhaul them all to a main command center. So for municipalities, for security cameras, so that might put your aggregation of 90% of all that bandwidth and bringing it back into the comm center. Or if you've got service providers that have equal bandwidth of, upstream, downstream, you might want to go 50-50. So it just depends on the demands that are negating how you want to, design that frequency for yourself. We have 500 megahertz size channels, and there's 9 non-overlapping channels. That's going to allow you, we have, you can do 18 shots on a single rooftop in parallel. What that means, we also have a client, I believe it's out in New York, that has 24 of our radios rooftop to rooftop because of the 9 non-overlapping channels. And we do 5 steps of modulation with adaptive, hitless adaptive rate for the technology there. So you're literally not going to miss anything as far as packet sausage or anything. It's 7 pounds on the 1200 1-foot dish here as you're looking at. There's no laptop required for the installation, alignment, or commissioning of the radios. You can do all that right there on site. And then we have both features. We have an advanced, basically the radios have a built-in switch. So you can have on the 1200F, for instance, we'll talk about the F, you're going to get a full feature-rich switch capacity out of the radio. And if you want, you can go with the 1200FX, and that's going to give you a layer 2 feature there for you. And that on the F, you're going to get 2 ports of copper and 2 ports of fiber as well. And then on the 1200FX, you're basically going to get a layer 2 with 2 ports of copper. All the feature sets are still going to be the same with your AES encryption and so forth. So here is a little bit of the differences that you can see as far as the frequencies, high and lows, so forth, that you would want. You're basically getting twice the throughput from your FDD because it is full duplex versus your TDD. The TDD is less expensive than the FDD, and you can get all your pricing from Microcom. They have a full portfolio of our products on a list price sheet we can send out to you guys. Depending on your volume of how much you buy, obviously, is going to be the difference in your discounts out there. And again, you can see the asymmetric throughput on your TD, again, 50-50, 75-25, or 90-10. And again, it's just dependent upon your upstream links and downstream backhaul. Here's some of the interfaces that we're talking about as far as the two RJ45s or the two SFPs, your single mode fiber ports. And again, this is going to be on the F radio right here that you're taking a peek at. And then showing your power as well with the 20 or 60 or PoE. Here's the antenna gain and your beam width. Basically on the 1 foot dish, you're going to have a 43 dB. On the 2 foot, you're going to be at a 51 dB. And then your beam width is 0.8 versus 0.5 on the 2 foot. It's a center pole mounting, so that obviously helps from your wind shear factors out there. And you can see our radio on the top there in comparison to others below. Here's the TL, which is the TD radio versus the T radio. You're going to see that you're going to get both the 128/256-bit and AES encryption availability, that you're going to both have 2 ports out of the T radios versus the F radios gives you the 4. The last one on there would be the 1200 FX. I apologize, it's not in this slide right here, but that would give you 2 ports of copper as well. So it's just a lighter version of the X, but it does give you all of the same capacities and AES encryption and so forth, synchronization, and all of your modulations are all going to be the same. You're still going to get 5 steps of modulations in the TL all the way up to the F series on the radios. You can see that in the TL you're looking at a 700, and you can asymmetrically adjust that. You can see in the T that's a full gig, and then on the 1200F it's a full gig, as well as the 1200FX, which is not listed there, is a full duplex gig as well. Here's some of the main components with your ODU, your mounting kit, and the 2 foot dish in its requirements, and the power sources. So your power source is a PoE or a DC power supply, pretty standard in the industry here. These are just some list prices for you guys to kind of give you some ideas, but on the 1200 TL, you're looking at roughly around 3,500. On the 1200 T, 7,190. And then on the F, you're looking at 10,900, and these are list price. So if you would like to get a firm quote on that, please reach out to Crystal's team over here at Microcom, and we can get you some more realistic prices of what you would be looking at, whether you're a VAR, service provider, or an end customer. The prices are with a 1 foot antenna and 2 ODUs, 2 the mounting kits, 2 PoEs, and the 2 times the capacity upgrades for you guys. If you need a 2 foot dish, that roughly runs you, and I'm going to say roughly, so I don't hold my feet to the fire on this, but consider about $1,000 for a 2 foot dish advance. Here is some max link distance for you guys to take a look at as far as downtime per minute. So you look at the very, you've got a 1 foot dish, you've got a 2 foot dish, and it's going to show you the link down in minutes per year. So this shot is set up for Las Vegas, and you're getting 4 nines of availability over the top left quadrant versus the right, again, it's 4 nines of availability. And what you're looking at is the downtime is 36 minutes versus 5 minutes, and the availability of the nines that we're showing you here. And the same thing goes below. The lower left quadrant of 40 versus the right is 9. So you can see it's a significant less downtime. Here it is, the same attributes in New York. You're looking again 4 nines down to 5 nines, and looking at 1 minute downtime in the right upper quadrant versus 4 minutes with a 2 foot on the lower right quadrant. And the same thing there in Atlanta. Some of the rain fades are going to be a little bit different depending on the area that you're going to be in. So that's what we wanted to share with you. Here's basically the Siklu deployment for basically a replacement for fiber extension. So this is going to give you this typical wireless deployment, building to building, whether it is in a ring topology, star topology, backup for your fiber, if it's multiple tenants that you need additional bandwidth for, if it's security cameras that you're going off of power poles for, whether it's governments, what have you. It's an ideal situation. Here we have basically a campus environment, so whether you were doing like education and so forth, but again, we can do a hub and spoke, we can do linear mesh, we can do the ring, daisy chain, any of those type of technologies that you're looking at. We basically, at the end of the solution here, want to make sure that you understand it's a carrier class, high reliability, compliant product. This is something that allows you for 9 non-overlapping channels, easy RF planning, co-location. You're not going to have a huge amount of interference, if any, just because the beam width is usually about the size of a pencil. So it's a significant advantage over traditional means of microwave radios out there, and the cost value is significantly less than what we're seeing out there in any other products. It is definitely a carrier class radio through and through. So anyway, we just want you to think Siklu when you think of short haul gig radio solutions. As you can see, our radio is a very small form factor, the most leading edge in technology with a silicon chipset, 5 steps of modulation, 9 non-overlapping channels. If there's additional questions and so forth that you guys have, by all means reach out to myself, Angela Quinn, or you can see here there's Elon Mushi. Elon takes care of the eastern part of the U.S., and I take care of the western part of the U.S., Denver West. But as always, please feel free to reach out directly to Microcom and have them help you with any questions, issues, design aspects that we can help you with. They're always available to engage us, or you're available to engage us as well. That being said, is there any questions live that you guys have for me at this time? Or?
All right. Thank you, Angela. Let's go over these questions. All these boxes are so small. Okay. The first question is, I hear small power consumption regularly. How much lower is the power consumption in comparison to some leading competitors?
Can you read that again? They're wanting to know what the power consumption is.
How much lower is the power consumption in comparison to some leading competitors?
You know, I've not had that question asked of me. I can certainly get back with them on that one. I don't know what some of the competitors are using on the power consumption. I will get a spec sheet out to you. If we can get the customer's information, we'll send that over to them.
Absolutely. Okay. Not a problem. The next, and it looks like final question is, are there any upcoming trade shows you'll be attending where interested customers can view your products in person?
We will be at the WISPA Palooza show in October. If there is something that someone's interested in seeing the product sooner, we certainly can either do an evaluation process where we can ship them out a radio from Microcom for them to do an evaluation. We can do like a buy and try, so you guys basically buy it. If it's not performing to your satisfaction within the first 30 days, we can make arrangements to get that returned. Never had one come back, so we're pretty confident on that. If you'd like, we can stop by with the radio. So just let us know whatever where you're located at, and either myself or Elon can see how we can get some product in your hand for you guys to actually evaluate and try.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. It looks like that's the last question.
All right.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you, everybody, for attending the webinar. I hope everybody found it very informative. If anybody has any additional questions, in addition to contacting Angela or Elon, you can contact us at sales@microcomtech.com. That's MICROCOMTEC. Or if you wish to view any of the products mentioned here today, please visit us at www.microcom.us or contact your salesperson. This webinar will also be posted on Microcom Technologies YouTube channel for later review. I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.